Hi YouTubers, I hope you're okay. This video is a series of videos on metaphors for healing, and if you would like to be healed, if you'd like to have new perceptions and new ways of looking at things, then listen in. All that I need you to do is just to become relaxed. This isn't hypnosis, but what I would suggest is, if you like, you could listen to this with your eyes closed, or you could listen to it with your eyes open. It really doesn't matter. It's whatever you feel comfortable doing. But what I would ask is that you would begin to slow your breathing down, that you would make yourself nice and relaxed, comfortable, just for the next 5 or 10 minutes. Clear your mind. And as I tell you these stories, you don't need to do any thinking. There's nothing that you need to do, because these stories are for your unconscious mind. Your conscious mind can listen in or can wander off. It really doesn't matter. So, I'd like to tell you a story about a couple of monks, Buddhist monks, that were on a long journey. Now, these were very devout Buddhist monks, and they'd sworn a vow of celibacy. Not only celibacy, but a vow of having no contact with women whatsoever. And so as they walked along, they talked about their faith and their beliefs. Now, it had been raining the previous day, and so as they came to a river, they noticed that the river was very high. It was swollen, and it was moving very quickly. And where there was a normal ford that was easy to cross, the river was really quite treacherous. And on the bank of a river, there was a young lady standing, wanting to cross but too frightened to do so. Without thinking, one of the monks lifted the lady onto his back and crossed the river, with the other monk following behind. On the other side, he dropped the lady onto the riverbank, and then, thinking no more of it, continued to walk ahead. At the same time, further upriver, where it was more gentle and more quiet, there was a scorpion on the riverbank, and he too wanted to cross the river. But scorpions can't swim, and really it was impossible for him to get across the river unless he had some help. He desperately wanted to go and see the rest of his family, that for some reason had ended up floating across the river on some jetsam, and he wanted to be with them, but he didn't know how to get over to the other side. And it just so happened that a crocodile came by, swimming by in the river. And the scorpion shouted over to the crocodile and said, "Excuse me, Mr. Crocodile, could I ask you a favour? I wonder if you would take me to the other side of the river on your back." The crocodile, smiling as all crocodiles do, said, "I don't think so. I know what you scorpions are like, and you would sting me if I took you to the other side of the river, and I would die, and I wouldn't be very happy." And the scorpion said, "Just a moment, Mr. Crocodile. You're missing something. You see, if you take me over the river on your back, and if I'm on your back, if I sting you, then I too will die. If you go to the bottom of the river bed, I too will die." Well, the crocodile thought about it, and it seemed a very plausible argument. And so, wanting to be helpful, he said to the scorpion, "Okay, I trust that you won't sting me. You hop on in between my ears, and I'll take you across." And so the scorpion scuttled on to the back of the crocodile and made itself comfortable in between the crocodile's ears. About that time, right way out into the sea, a small fish was swimming along, and this fish was desperately seeking an answer. It had been searching for a long time. Up ahead it noticed an old, mature, big fish, and it thought to itself, maybe this fish will give me the answer that I'm looking for. And so it swam up to the big fish and it said, "Excuse me, sir, but I wonder if you could help me." "I'd be more than pleased to help you," said the big fish. "What can I do for you?" "Well," said the little fish, "I'm looking for the ocean. Can you tell me where it is?" In this life, we have many choices. Our life, every moment of our life, is a choice. We can choose to be the person that we've always been. Or we can choose to be somebody new. We can choose to change ourselves. You can choose to be somebody else. You see, you don't have to be the person that other people wanted you to be. You don't have to be the person that you think other people think that you should be. You don't have to be anybody except the true you deep down inside. And it's only when you actually begin to be the true you that you can actually find happiness and peace. Because as long as you are trying to please everybody else, the person that loses out is you. The person that doesn't express themselves in the way that they were meant to express themselves is you. And somebody said something very interesting to me not so long ago. And it was about people giving other people advice. People readily give others advice about how they should live, how they should dress, how they should eat, what they should wear, where they should go, where they should work, how they should study. Everybody gives other people advice very, very easily. But once they've given the person the advice, no matter how difficult it is to do that, then they go home and they get on with their lives. And you are the one that has to deal with coping with their advice. You see, I think people are far more comfortable giving advice than they are receiving advice. It's easy. It costs nothing. And maybe, just maybe, you've spent your life taking heed of all of the things that people have told you that you should be, and all of the things that people have told you that you shouldn't be, when in fact they were wrong. And what you should be is you. Be true to your own self, because that's the only gateway to happiness. And I know that you know who you are deep down. And so it's just a matter of discovery. And I don't know if that discovery will happen in small steps, or whether it'll happen all at once. Or maybe the discovery will happen in small steps and in big leaps, won't it? Now, everything is down to you. Everything that happens in your life is your choice. your responsibility. Now you can make your own decisions. And if you choose, just as you were choosing now, to be happy, be yourself now, then the world is your oyster and the sky is the limit. And you can be anything you want to be. And so the little fish waited for the answer. Where is the ocean? Well, the big fish, being a very wise and intelligent fish, said, I think you've misunderstood the situation. You are in the ocean. The ocean is all around you. You don't need to look for the ocean because the ocean finds you. And the little fish shook its head and said, you know, that's not what I want to hear. I don't believe what you're saying. How can the ocean be everywhere? I can't see it. And it swam off, sad and disappointed that one more time somebody had told him that cock and bull story. And off he went in search of somebody who would tell him what he wanted to hear. And so the crocodile began to swim across the river with the scorpion just above his brain, I suppose, in between his ears. And when he got to the middle of the river, to the deepest point, for no reason whatsoever, the scorpion stung him right between the eyes. And as the crocodile began to sink into the water for the last time, it looked up at the scorpion and it said, why did you do that? Why did you sting me? I'm going to die and you're going to die as well. And the scorpion looked down somewhat sadly and said, I'm sorry. It's just who I am. I couldn't help myself. And so the two monks left the riverbank and started to walk on their journey and continue with their travels. The monk who had carried the lady carried on, but the other monk was horrified, was absolutely horrified that the monk dared to have allowed a woman to touch him. And he berated over and over again the monk. How could you? How dare you? Don't you feel dirty? Don't you feel sullied? Isn't that disgusting? It's terrible. Wait till people hear about it. And this went on and on and on until finally the monk could stand it no more, and he stopped and he turned to the monk and he said, I left the woman on the riverbank. You are the one that's carrying her on your back now. And so that's it. And so you can let all of those things happen. And you can take action. Because inevitably, everything happens for the right reason. See you in the next one.